Hallo und herzlich willkommen zur nächsten Ausgabe von Drink at Home. Der heutige Abend wird ein sehr lustiger Abend, aber bevor wir zu unseren Gästen kommen, vorweg für all jene, die vielleicht noch immer zum ersten Mal zuschauen, in euren Bierboxen findet ihr ganz kurz eine Beschreibung zu den Gästen. Auf der Rückseite findet ihr das Line-Up mit der Beschreibung zu den Bieren und dann wieder, oder für alle, die neu sind, einen Verkostungsbogen, wo ihr euch ganz einfach Notizen machen könnt, wie hervorragend euch die Biere geschmeckt haben. Die Situation hat sich nicht geändert. Wir speziell im Osten haben gestern erfahren, dass wir weiterhin im Lockdown sind und leider müssen wir da durch und hoffen wir, dass es bald vorbei ist. Bevor ich jetzt auf meine Gäste eingehe, hätte ich mal eine Frage an euch alle zu Hause. Es würde mich freuen, wenn ihr mal sagt, von wo ihr zuschaut aus Österreich. Vielleicht kann jeder mal ganz kurz einmal reinschreiben, aus welchem Bezirk, wenn aus Wien ist, und aus welcher Stadt, aus den Bundesländern gerade Leute online sind. Wäre mal interessant für mich persönlich zu wissen, wie weit wir schon Österreich erreicht haben. So, good afternoon to Andrea and Peter. It's a really pleasure to have you both here for this online tasting tonight.
Great to be here.
Yeah, it's really, really cool because I can tell you already that you got a really big fan base here in Austria. So it was really on top of the list to get you involved in one of our online tastings. And
super.
Tonight it will happen. So I would say, Andrea, ladies first, start a little bit about yourself, what you're doing in the brewery, and give us some background about you, the person.
Well, hello, and thank you for having us. Appreciate it. And so I'm Andrea Chiodo, and Peter and I are married. So we took off our masks. We took them off because we're okay to be together. And at the brewery, I do all of the creative. So I do the branding, the packaging, and all of the artwork. And I also call myself ego management. So creative and ego management, because I have to keep him in line because he gets a big head sometimes. And so I just somebody's got to keep the guy humble. And that's my job.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. So, and we also can talk a little bit later about the artworks for the individual cans.
Yeah.
So
and I have an accent. So just in case you're wondering, I live in Canada for like 27 years now, but I'm originally from Alabama. Okay. So as I drink, if I start to say, y'all, it's honest. Like it's just my heritage coming out.
Okay, y'all. Okay, cool. Peter, cheers.
Cheers.
So, you're married. That's something which Andrea told us already. So then you can tell us when you guys started. You were the first craft beer brewery in Ontario, in Toronto. Is this right?
I wish. No, I think it's kind of, I'm going to be changing the background if that's okay as we go through this.
Perfect.
Yeah, no worries. But at least you get I've been to Europe twice, I guess.
Yeah,
So But no, we started when? We started
in 2004.
Yeah, but we started before that, though.
2002.
But even before that.
1993.
Yeah, we started in 1993.
When we were in university, we met when we were in university and in graduate school. We were poor, and so we started craft brewing.
That's it.
We started brewing beer because we couldn't afford to buy beer.
Yeah. If you take a look here, this is where we are in Canada, just north of Toronto. So Toronto is right somewhere there.
That's my house.
Yeah, there you go. Do you see those polar bears? Did you know there's 16,000 polar bears in Canada, Marcus?
Okay.
Yeah.
How many hockey rinks?
Hockey rinks? I think the hockey rink, there's 6 polar bears for every hockey rink, or 1 hockey rink for 6 polar bears. I don't know if you knew that fact.
But they don't live in the hockey rinks, and there's not very many attacks. So
okay, that's good.
It's not like you're going to play hockey and get mauled by a polar bear.
But Marcus, we thought it'd be important just to at least explain to everybody where we're just north of Toronto, about 50 miles north. Yeah.
Yeah. So we live in a small igloo, a little south of here.
Okay. Together with the Puma beers? Together with the beers?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, good
But you're
ice.
also on the safe side.
We're good with the beer side. Don't worry about that. But yeah, so, we're just showing you kind of where the brewery is in Canada. The brewery's we wanted to do something kind of cool. We live just south of Barrie.
I feel like we're doing the weather.
I know. Yeah, really. That's Barrie. It looks like a
Right there on Lake Simcoe.
right on Lake Simcoe.
The
Yeah.
hot dog.
Looks like a hot dog. Simcoe, the lake.
Cool.
But you'll see here, this is kind of where the brewery is.
We
I
weren't the
guess.
first brewery in Ontario.
Oh,
So
really? Like number 12. I
number
think.
2, we were in the first members of the OCB, which is the Ontario Craft Brewers. So, we've been in it early, but we weren't the first ones. And we actually became a brewery at a really great time in Ontario. Craft beer was huge south of the border in the United States, but it was still starting and catching on here.
Okay.
And a lot of the breweries early on looked alike and they tasted alike, and people didn't really know what hops were back then. And most of us were brewing infected, horrible stuff. But the great opportunity was we figured out early on what we wanted to make craft beer. And then we got to grow and develop and really have a lot of creativity without having any of the anxiety of a lot of competition. And I think it's what made the Flying Monkeys what we are today, and that we've never looked over our shoulder. We never really worry what everybody else is doing. We just try to brew things that are very true to our soul, and we try to brew the beers that we want to drink.
Okay.
Good point.
Where are we?
Hey, we warned you, Marcus. We're going to be all over the place today.
Yeah,
it's going to be insane, man.
Yeah,
Sorry, we know you're German and you like order. You want structure and order. We don't do that very well.
Yeah.
Do you know? Sorry, the first question is coming. Andrea is asking if you know Andrea Chiodo.
Yes.
He's a hockey player in Austria.
In some way. In some way.
He plays hockey in Austria now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's like your cousin, second cousin.
Yeah, we're all from the same town in South Italy.
Yeah. So they're in Calabria. They're from Bobarusso in Italy.
But yeah, we are related.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize he was playing hockey in Austria.
Next connection to Austria. Or the first connection. No, the first connection was the beer.
We're going to have to send to her.
Now you're related with a hockey player in Austria. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Peter played hockey.
Okay.
Everybody plays hockey.
And then,
I want to say this, yeah.
Then he became a runner. And so I met him when we were at the University of Alabama, and he was there on a track scholarship. So there's our story.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how a girl from Alabama met this weird guy from Canada.
And original from Italy.
His father's from Italy.
So, but Peter, you started not with Flying Monkeys.
No.
You started with Robert Simpson Brewery.
Yeah.
Is this correct, in 2004?
Well, yeah. One thing that I think I can do better than people is screw stuff up. Like I'm pretty good at making mistakes. I'm really, really good. Like I think in the world on like a scale of 1 to 10, I'm like a 10. I'm perfect at screwing shit up.
You're a 10.
If there's a way of making a mistake, that's me. So we started the brewery as Robert Simpson Brewing Company, named after the first mayor of Barrie here.
Our hometown, the mayor was a brewmaster, and he had 4 different breweries in our small town. And we thought, wow, let's think about this. The United States has Sam Adams, brewer and patriot. Maybe we can invent Robert Simpson. But it didn't take us very long to figure out that very clean historical take on brewing and tradition and heritage. It was going to die. And we really wanted to have a brewery that was going to take us into the 21st century. And I didn't want to be named after a dead white guy.
Okay, I understand.
Little feminist there. Just I hope there's some ladies drinking and get it.
Hey, Mark, are we going to open up the first beer or what, man? I'm getting thirsty.
I have more stories to tell. Okay.
Okay, yeah, then of course.
Let's do it.
I would say we start.
Yeah, for sure.
Mutants Are Revolting. I got one.
The Mutants
and the green screen disappears.
Oh, did it? Oh,
look at that. It's the
green
invisible
screen.
green.
Yeah, disappeared. but here the people can see it.
The story about this beer, though, so this was just released last year, very, very beginning of the pandemic. And this, I actually developed this label in quarantine. So it was one of my absolutely 100% first all quarantine designed craft beer labels.
Okay.
April 2020.
Then follow Robert and get in the first beer.
That's a pretty one for you. That's my logo out, reading out.
Oh, really?
Cheers.
Cheers. And thank you again.
What should I say for you? Prost.
Oh, yeah. You still remember some words.
Peter should.
So first we talk about the beer and then about the labeling, I would say, huh? Robert, so it's Peter, so it's your turn talking about the beer itself.
Yeah, well, I mean, like most of our beers, we very hop forward. So we run it around, what is it, 4.5%?
Well, so this beer that we're drinking right now is, we call it a crushable IPA because of the lower alcohol. It's not like a big 6%, 7% IPA, but we wanted something that was so hop forward, but super refreshing. And you could have more than one. You want to sit on your patio in the summer or after a nice bike ride, and you want something, you want to have all that wonderful hop flavor, but you don't want to be slowed down by a high ABV. That's where we came up with the crushable IPA.
I think the star of the show, though, in my view at least, is that Sabro coming through. You just get that hint of coconut and
kind of a husky.
Yeah,
aroma.
it's
Coconut.
But we discovered Sabro at our hop selection that we did a couple years back.
So what Peter, what do you got in the boil on this one? In the boil, you've got Cascade.
Oh, I think
in the boil.
Yeah,
What
but
else?
that's just boil.
That's the boil hops.
Yeah,
The big star is dry hopping.
It's mostly just Idaho 7 and really, I think, at least in my view, the Sabro comes through.
What I get out of this one is we also use an Equinox hop, and that one's the beautiful one. I get those really pretty aromas, really interesting aromas of there's like some cedar in there, but there's like green apple. We've also got some really interesting, I get melon notes on this. That's the one I like. I pick out, Peter likes the Sabro hop, but I get that more in one of our beers.
It's really, melon is coming really out, in the aroma.
And it's so refreshing.
Yeah, especially for summer. Summer is coming, so
it's a nice stepping stone beer.
Yeah, it is. It's a friendly beer,
Mm-hmm.
And part of the revolt of this beer is that we decided, hey, we're known for hop forward IPAs, but let's make something lighter. Make something a bit more approachable and something friendly.
Easy drinking. Drinkability is the go-to at the moment. Everyone is searching for high drinkability, for refreshing beers. But tell me, Peter, how big is the brewery itself? How big is the brew system? Technical overview.
Yeah, no worries. So we have a 35 hectoliter brew house. It's a 4-vessel brew house. And we also have a 3 hectoliter pilot system. I think that's important, but really the most important thing is we do about 35,000 hectoliters of brewing out of a facility, including packaging, that is just under 5,000 square feet. So we are basically probably the biggest brewery, the most volume out of the smallest brewery in the world, 5,000 square feet. So it is, it's actually, Andrew just mentioned, we should show a video of it. I can probably, let me just see what we got here. Throw something in behind us where at least you can see our line. Actually, this is our downstairs filler line. We call it a shoebox packaging line, but fully automated. We have the first robot in craft beer in Canada too. You'll see a little robot coming up next.
Yeah. That's our brand new filler and canning line that we just commissioned during COVID.
Yeah, KHS.
We did.
Okay.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Just not the cheapest, but one of the best. You can.
No, we spared no expense. I think our line was around $2 million.
We've been through the cheap ones. We've been through the ones that we bought on eBay. But used packaging and old tanks, and we're learning. We finally saved up our money and said, let's buy something perfect. And then because we have such a small area back there, this is our sour that's going through. It's a new release just in the last couple months.
Future.
Yeah, it's
Ganz kurz nur, 35,000 square meters.
Feet.
Is the size 35,000?
No, 5,000.
5,000 square meters.
Square feet. Square feet.
Square feet. So that's converted to square meters. It's 450 square meters.
It's nothing.
That's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing.
Yeah, you'll.
How many cans you can fill per hour with the canning line?
Oh, just under 200, 192. But if you take a look on these next ones behind us, you'll see our robot. And this robot basically allows the kids to save their back, and we can pay people more money now because we make better quality beer, we pack it more efficiently, and everybody's better off. We used to turn this job over every 3 months. We know we haven't turned this job over in 2 years. So it's really nice.
And it was space too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was hard. So somebody didn't like working in the hole. Working in the hole.
Yeah, we only work in full pallets now in the packaging. So we're basically doing a couple of tractor trailers a day out of the brewery. Just to give you an idea of our size, even though we're tiny, we put a lot of beer through the brewery.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really
fun.
Awesome. And then
come on, who doesn't like a robot?
Yeah, that's a really cool thing. I saw the last one, which I saw was in Belgium at the brewery, but at the kegging line. Not at the kegging line. Yeah, kegging line makes sense, because it's too heavy.
It is. Anything that's repetitive with a lot of lifting. And we have a really great packaging team, and we don't like to lose people once you train them and they're skilled. And, we're family. We're still a small brewery. We have about 75 employees, but these are 75 families that rely on,
But including the staff for the restaurants, for the bar, in total.
That's everybody.
Okay.
Everybody, including the restaurant. Yeah, no question. One of the cool things about this robot behind is right when the guy goes in and gets a full pallet, the robot automatically knows to slow down so it doesn't hit him.
There he is in the background. There's Ken.
Yeah, so you'll see when we actually do it, the robot will actually slow down. Did I miss that? I don't know.
Maybe you missed it.
Anyways, but it's just kind of the cool technology. Sorry. I'm like watching the video, not even listening to Andrew.
No.
Don't worry about that.
It's cool. And the brew house itself, it's a European version, or you bought it in Canada and in the States?
No, it's North American. Okay. It was a Creveller. We got it used. But it puts out a lot of beer, a lot of good quality beer. I mean, I really think that creative brewing is difficult. Production brewing is pretty easy. Packaging beer is almost friggin' impossible. Like putting and making that beer, last when it goes on, to Europe or whatever. That's the key. If if it's good, brewer can do that.
Peter always says, we always say, it's very easy to brew great beer, but the next step is you have to package it, and that's where
great beer turns into shit.
Yeah. And that's where I say, we had a lot of opportunity to learn. That's one thing that we've got going for us now. We've got a lot of opportunity to learn. We have a full lab. I don't know if you have any pictures of the lab, but we have probably about $50,000 worth of equipment in our lab because we make sure that everything that's going out of here is high quality. $250,000. Really?
Yeah, we
all that money on the lab, and I don't get
because
paid.
I thought, Andrea, that it was kind of a way too cheap, a lab for $50,000.
I'm just thinking, I'm like, is she making shit up or what?
I am absolutely making shit up, but I say it with such conviction. We do.
So then you also have your own yeast propagation. You have your own.
We don't propagate our own yeast yet. No.
Oh, okay.
We can't fit that into our shoebox. Maybe later when we get a bigger shoebox, we can fit it in, but today we can't. So we don't propagate.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah. We can move on to Juicy or any questions about Mutants? It's just a pretty friendly beer.
Not too fast. Can you tell us a little bit about the malt recipe?
Oh, malt is pretty simple on this one. Really, if you think about it. I mean, obviously we use a lot of 2-row. But really, wheat, 2-row, I think that's pretty much it.
Well, you got Pilsen malt in this one too.
A little bit of Pilsen,
6-row Pilsen as well. And
keeping it simple though, because it's like everything else. If you want to express the hops, you got to relax, and you can't be using crystals or other floor malts and things like that. It just doesn't work in this application. So very simple malt bill.
Okay. Label, Andrea?
Yes.
What was the idea behind? Connected to the beer, crushable IPA?
Yeah. Well, we already mutated a style, right? We just invent styles sometimes, so we're pretty known for that. And the Mutants Are Revolting. It's a funny name with a double entendre. It's got more than one meaning. But so we just figured, hey, we're already making a bastardized style. We're just making up the word crushable and calling it a crushable IPA. Maybe you want to add that to the BJCP book, for beer adjudication. But that's where it started. Yeah, and like I said, this was one that we hand drew, and it's just a lot of fun illustration. And I think the whole idea was when this beer was being developed, it was the very beginning of the pandemic. It was the beginning of COVID. And we just saw a lot of people giving up and throwing up their hands. And we just said, hey, you know what? And we say it on the label, chaos breeds opportunity. When people keep their heads about them and they continue to create and do their work, no matter what life throws at you, you're going to succeed. So that's kind of that was a little bit of the message of where I was kind of, existentially when they told me you have to create a new beer. So, but it is. And we make a lot of jokes about that. It's just, we always say about craft brewing, this is the game that moves as you play.
That's a good thing.
Every day's got a new set of rules. And that's kind of where the idea from the Mutants Are Revolting came from.
And how does it work? Is Peter coming up with a recipe and then you have to create the label, or Andrea, you came out with an idea of a label and then Peter makes the beer?
Oh, we do teams.
It's a
all together.
There's about 5 of us on the team that collaborate, and we build it into our weekly schedule. Every week we're meeting on progress of the business. Yeah. So it's not just about beer; it's about everything, but mostly about we focus on recipes and new brands.
We get together with our brew team. There's 2 guys, Seb and Brandon, and they should be here. Yeah. But they're brewing beer right now. Okay. And when we get together and talk, we've gotten a lot more collaborative. We take ideas from names. When they share the hops. I'd say, what were you thinking when you created this beer? And we all go in on tastings. And the last few beers we're doing, I've actually been started asking them, hey, what do you have any ideas about? If this beer was a color, what would it be? I try to encourage everybody to be part of the creative process.
It's collaborative for sure.
Takes a village.
It does take a village. You're right. It's a lot of people and a lot of, your mistakes, a lot of revisions. We are never one and done when it comes to beer. We're continually modifying the recipe. That's part of our creative process.
Cool. Carl is asking, how does it happen that you really get focused on IPAs? Is this your favorite styles, or?
That's a good question. I think fun IPAs are kind of our gig. We're good at it, and it's something that we've really perfected. We know, we've really focused on dry hopping technology. I mean, it's from our perspective, it's not just regular dry hopping. We've even built a brew house for late additions, ingredients.
I think every beer we're drinking is dry hops. We'll probably talk about what hops are in the boil, but the important hops, from brewing is the dry hopping. The late addition hops.
Well, the late additions and dry hopping, I think, make the beer. They really, anything in the kettle nowadays, that's kind of obsolete brewing. So, for us, it's really trying to get the most out of that hop. And as business people, you're trying to be as efficient as possible in the brew house to get every drop of beer into a can or a keg.
Historically, Flying Monkeys, we were one of the first Ontario breweries to really create a North American style IPA. And I think that's where we kind of got the reputation of being that hoppy brewery. It was our first, and some of y'all, it was in Europe for a while, it was Smash Bomb Atomic IPA. And that was probably the beer that really put us on the map And then people expected hop forward beers from us, which was fine because that's what we really enjoy doing. But we do other kinds of things as well. But that's where we really have a great time. It's like cooking. Hops are the spice of beers. Have so much opportunity to create so many things. And, some people get disappointed. Like they really expect some of our beers, when we call it IPA, we still try to create a balanced beer and a really pleasant beer. And we try to showcase the profile of every hop, right? And not just beat people over the face with heavy bitterness and rip the enamel off your teeth. We really want all our beers to have a beautiful flavor and great aroma and balance. And there's really careful artistry to hopping.
Balance is key.
I feel like our brew house is doing a great job.
So balance is key, especially when it comes to dry hopping. So is this also something, Peter, you're playing also with the temperature when you dry hop?
Yes.
Is something.
We have different steps just like you're brewing, you have different steps. We have different steps when it comes to and we ramp down in terms of temperature depending on the beer and the recipe. When we dry hop, I'm talking about. Well, we call it soft crashing a tank.
You call it, how's it called?
Soft crashing a tank.
Okay.
So a fermenter, yeah.
So
yeah.
Cool. Kathleen is a Canadian girl sitting in Vienna and got entertained from you guys. So she's saying hello. She's from Canada and she's really happy to be part of this. She lives in Austria.
That's awesome. Welcome to our place.
It's still cold here.
Cool. So I would say now we can go to the next one.
All right. Juicy here. We got. Oh, my green screen is so much fun with my green colors. You're going to tell them about Juicy Yes IPA?
Juicy.
There you go.
You don't have to finish it. I know you'll finish it.
Our friends from Canada and Austria will be disappointed if we don't finish that beer.
I know. Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Right now.
So then let's find the glass and pour it in.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Whoop. Cheers.
Oh, juicy. Favorite.
So is juicy kind of the flagship?
I hate that word.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Hater.
But it's a full print again.
I hate that word.
No. Marcus, I will allow it. That being said, I even put my foam finger up there. Number one. Yeah. It is the number one.
It keeps the lights on here.
Craft beer in Ontario in the LCBO right now. Okay. So I'm proud of it. Maybe.
Well, I'm proud of it too. It's but I think as artists, as we are as brewers, once we complete a recipe, we modify, we make it, in our view, perfect. Like you want to move on to the next sort of creation. So, Juicy Ass pays the bills. It is probably 40% of our sales. It's an amazing beer.
Which is a surprise because when they first came with the first incarnation of
we had hands underneath the Juicy Ass.
Well, I actually think if you look over there, I actually think I oh no, I didn't. I have the wrong.
I can't do that very well.
We had hands like they're holding the big hop, and the LCBO said it was too suggestive.
Okay.
Now, Brandon, who's our experimental brewer now, he created this recipe and came up with the name, and I was like, whatever. I don't love it, but okay. And it was just a beer he made for our tap room, and then he entered it in the Ontario Brewing Awards and won a medal. And I'm like, okay, now we're stuck with the name. But I thought about it, and everybody's like, what are you going to do with a name like Juicy Ass? And I was like, well, it's sophomoric and it's immature. So that is what we did with the label. So it looks like my notebook when I was in high school where you would draw pictures. He can't hear us. We froze. He froze.
Oh, wait.
The audio's out.
I can't hear you there, Marcus.
Ich bin weg.
No, I can.
We dropped out. Okay.
I was deconnected. Sorry, because I thought that you lost the connection. So sorry, it was my or the Wi-Fi mistake.
It's all good.
Okay.
So
this is I will say this much about this beer. It's got my three favorite hops with Mosaic, Amarillo, and what was the other hop in there? I got three favorite.
Written down for you. I think it's Citra.
Oh, Citra, of course.
My least favorite hop.
My least favorite hop is, I'm not a big Simcoe fan.
Simcoe?
Yeah, and it's got Simcoe. Yeah. And
Amarillo is my favorite.
Amarillo is my favorite. Yeah. Although I do like Sabro.
Okay, we like them all. We like all of these.
We like them all.
Favorites, and we have our least favorites, I think.
This was so primarily in this one, there's Simcoe, Mosaic, Amarillo, which is that evil grapefruity thing, and Citra.
Citra rounds everything out.
Citra, high alpha acid, you got to be careful with it.
Yeah.
I think.
But it's again, it's balanced, it has this, it gets more intense, of course, but it's still, and I can understand the people, even you cannot understand them that they really like the beer.
Yeah.
And I completely understand that brewers are artists, and you want to create always something new and new and new. But of course, it's also important that you find a beer which pays the bills. So
this is for sure. It's funny though. You mentioned the word flagship. And I think that's changed because our flagship originally was an amber ale. Then it evolved to we called it an almost pale ale, an APA.
Optical illusion.
And then now it's juicy ass. So I look at us, we're 17, 18 years old now. And how many, 25% of all businesses make it to 20 years? Something. It's a very small number, like 1 in 4, 1 in 5. And I figure we got at least 20 years of runway. Heck, I just got a pacemaker put in. Yeah. They're going to have to friggin' unplug that. You got 8 years
on your pacemaker.
So there
you go. 3 kids in university, so I hope we have a few years.
So we have to stay alive for a few years.
No. Of course you will.
I think what that shows is, as we went from an amber ale to what we called optical illusion, almost pale ale, we were still like a little bit timid about explaining hops to people. And back then, this is like
we use crystal.
2008. Yeah, like 2008, 2010. You're still trying to explain to people what craft beer is. They don't even know what craft beer is. Then our next one is Smash Bomb, and that's our bread and butter beer for a few years. Yeah. And then now it's Juicy Ass. But what you see
what could it be tomorrow?
Well, the brewery is growing with the palates and the taste and the maturity of Ontario and North America, Europe, the world. Like all of the craft brewers are now evolving, and in a positive way. It's not like you follow the market; you determine the market. Right?
That's true.
If you're being a trend follower, you're not doing a very good job.
Yeah.
And I think, and I know I talk a lot, but one of our advantages is, we're from Barrie, Ontario. We're an hour north of Toronto. So I feel like we don't feel a lot of the pressure that the other breweries down in Toronto. There's 100 breweries in a 5-block radius.
That's crazy shit there, man.
Whereas up here, we don't have to worry about what our neighbors are doing because we don't have very many neighbors, and it really gives us the freedom and the space to follow our mandate, which is brew fearlessly. Just don't worry about what everybody else is doing. We don't see everybody else much. So we have the opportunity to stretch our wings metaphorically.
She brings up a good point because here, our mission statement. Okay. So,
the mission.
Yeah, this used to be our mission statement until about a day ago. But anyways, it was it was a business school bullshit business. It was it was stupid.
To be innovative and maximize the potential of.
It's okay. It's okay.
He has an MBA, so don't let him pretend.
So what we do now is this is our mission statement right here. This is it. Straightforward.
Now it's brew fearlessly.
That's it. I can remember that. I think, honestly, I smoked too much pot back in university. I don't remember anything anymore, so I couldn't remember the other one. Could you remember that? I couldn't remember that. Like, what the hell? So we're like, you know what? Let's make it so that guys like me can remember. So we're like, let's change our mission statement. And this is now our mission statement. So there you go.
Well, and then also a lot of people associate the brewery with our other kind of, our other tag, our motto, which is normal is weird. Why do everything the way everybody else is doing something some way? Do we really want to be like everyone else?
Yeah, I don't want to be like everybody else.
I say, remember, you are
it's
special.
On the can, huh? Normal is weird. Normal is weird. That when we first became the Flying Monkeys, when we said let's kill Robert Simpson.
and let's change. And that was part of our change, though, was like being normal is kind of weird. Why do we want to fit in with what everybody else is doing and not stand out? You're just like everyone else. So.
And who came out with the idea of flying monkeys?
Oh, I was the one that executed it.
I suggested it as a beer name, not as a brewery name, just a beer.
When we changed the name to Flying Monkeys, it probably shocked everybody. Mm-hmm. I think nobody was expecting that, but we knew that we weren't happy with the creativity, that we felt very contained and constricted. Yeah. So it was a breath of fresh air that allowed us to do anything. And we really kind of have done anything, really. Whatever we want to try in beer, we'll do it.
I was telling you earlier before the call, my background was in American literature. And at the time in the late 90s, people were always talking about the canon, kind of like who are the authors we read and who are the artists we respect. And things were changing. We aren't always just reading white, dead British authors anymore. We're starting to expand the canon and bring in women of color and people of other nationalities. And I think that's where, when I got to Flying Monkeys, that's what I wanted. I wanted to not be constrained by the canon, of craft beer. And we wanted to expand beyond that. And I always, finish most of my emails with, flying onward and outward, Flying Monkeys. There's something about movement, there's always a challenge. Flying Monkeys are dynamic, and there's always chaos there for the taking. And that's what we really liked about the name. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, Peter, everybody's going to think we're named after the Wizard of Oz, those creepy flying monkeys. But I thought, all right, we'll spin it. We can make it work because we'll always make everything work.
I think the name actually does come from the Wizard of Oz.
A little bit.
But one of the rules we said was we were not allowed to do any Wizard of Oz isms here at the brewery.
There is a whole mythology behind the flying monkeys as well, though.
Okay.
So the flying monkeys are narcissists.
Which is why my job title is ego management.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm managing my ego or his.
Hey, if you're trying to talk, Marcus, forget it. No. We're going to be talking the whole time.
Use the mute button.
It's perfect. But it's really interesting to listening, because it's the first time for us here, to hear all the stories. So it's really, really interesting.
17
But there's the next question coming up. Manfred is asking, are you guys also using European hops?
Oh, Manfred, yes. We're coming up next. We've got Hallertau Blanc, in one of the next beers. We do use some Cascade, which is kind of that's American.
No, I think the only we did. Okay, so my understanding is some of these European hops are like just taking a whole, like they're taking out a lot of the noble hop fields, and they're actually doing these new hybrids. This
one's Hallertau and Saaz.
I'll be honest with you. I think it's an amazing thing that we're definitely on the bandwagon. So we're trying to work with as much as experimental we can get out of Europe. In fact, I know we've just got a bunch of like South African hops and some other things. So we'll do whatever we can get our hands on in terms of experimentation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jumping ahead, I'm not going to jump ahead, but when we get to the beer, Tiny Little Blizzards, it's all North American hops. And that was an answer to a beer we did the year before, which was called Tiny Little Wizards. Yeah. Which was all Southern Hemisphere hops. Yeah.
Southern Hemisphere.
It was all like South African and Australian hops. And so, and in the European hops, I would say, we've got in our modern lager, you can't do a lager or any kind of Pilsner without, paying homage to all the great European. So it's in that one for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Not much in IPAs.
Yeah,
that was a good question from Manfred.
Thank you, Manfred.
Thank you, man. I was surprised because I thought Manfred was going to ask me to scratch the furry wall.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But anyways,
Manfred Man and his Earth Band.
Yes.
And Christopher is asking, do you also do collaborations with other breweries? All Canadian breweries, also worldwide. Is this something? What you like to do?
Collaborations,
yeah. One of my most favorite ones was actually, you've heard of Brewfist,
Italy.
Yeah, just south of.
His head's cut off.
Right here. Okay. You see his beard. But I flew
Peter. It's Pietro and
Peter. I met him in Spain, and we did a collaboration.
It was his doppelganger.
We've done with Lejeune out of Spain.
What you mean, doppelganger? Is that right?
Yeah, that's okay.
So yeah, we do. We enjoy doing them. In fact, next time I go to Europe, I'd like to have probably 2 or 3 set up for sure.
You did the ones in was it Amsterdam? Where was it?
Amsterdam, yeah.
With
And
Copsbury?
Oh, Cops. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it. I'm totally collaborative. Like I love, this is how, we get to travel and we get to write it off as a business expense.
I'd rather be in Austria doing this right now.
Yeah. So we can arrange a collaboration with kind of a lager brewery, and then you can visit and maybe steal some ideas.
What is it? Muti milk? What was it?
It's a collaboration.
It's okay, but there are so many historical breweries,
It's a collaboration. Yeah. We don't care. I mean, we're open to, I like to compete on the shelf when it comes to ideas. I mean, I'll tell you anything. I'm an open book.
Yeah. Like most of the shelf.
But that's the fun of craft breweries, right? It's you're all in the same industry, and you like to see.
And that's the best industry.
Do well. When another brewery comes along and does well, it helps everybody.
Yes.
And it's just more really good beer out there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's completely the truth,
But that's not okay. So the funny story about dealing with Pietro was I came in there. I'm only going to tell half the story, but we get there, and I remember, what was it? A blood orange saison.
We did. It was called the Basilisk, and it was a blood orange basil saison.
So, anyways, bottom line was there's this, like, it's the middle of winter, and there's this whole palette of blood oranges. I'm like, where the hell did you get those? He's like, don't worry, I have friends. And I'm like, I'm in Italy. He's got friends. I don't care. It's all good. But anyway, so that's a true story, though. Here, middle of February, I think it was.
So there are people you contact when you need things.
Yeah. I didn't ask. That's my story, though. I'm sticking to it.
There's a good question or statement coming. Carlos, as a Montrealer living in Vienna.
Hi.
Holy
I
crap.
have to ask.
My son goes to McGill in Montreal.
Okay.
Montreal.
But he's asking, do you consider yourself an Ontario brewery or a Canadian brewery?
Oh, good question. I consider myself a Canadian brewery for sure. Yeah.
I consider myself a planet Earth brewery.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Guilty. Probably Ontario?
Yeah, no, Canada for sure. Yeah.
Right?
Like we put a Canada flag on everything we can get away with. So
we do.
We're proud of it.
Yeah.
Well, who the hell knows where Ontario is? I mean, it's, yeah, nobody cares.
It's not like
at least
universe.
Some beer lovers in Austria know. They know where Ontario is.
Okay.
1 hour from Toronto.
Yeah.
So it's actually easy to visit.
Yeah, it is. We're just a little bit north.
How big is the population in Ontario?
13 million people.
That one.
Yeah. So it's pretty small, eh?
13 million people.
Yeah.
Do you know what in Austria population?
No.
8.8 to 9 million.
Wait, 9 million for the whole country?
Yes.
But geographically, Ontario is going to be.
And are 90% of them Indiana?
No, not 90%, but nearly 2.1 million is living in Vienna.
Oh, beautiful city. We got to go there.
So we are really in a super, super nice area of the world, nice country, but small. Yeah,
we have a lot of space and a lot of, polar bears. We joke about the polar bears, but, we actually, what was it? Last summer, we had a black bear running through our,
I mean, Ontario, it's like a lot of major cities. You drive an hour in any direction and you're in the middle of nowhere. But that is what's so beautiful about Ontario. Like,
but it means that Toronto is in the middle of nowhere.
We're right on the waterfront. There's lakes. It's beautiful. It's beautiful up here. I'm from like the South of the United States. I'm from Alabama, Mississippi. It's pretty there, but it's God's country. It's gorgeous up here. Really pretty. Cool. I love it.
Cool. So one day, for sure.
Look, we're at the brewery, Peter.
We are at the front of the brewery.
Hey.
That's the front.
Shoebox.
That's the main entrance of the shoebox.
Yeah, please
the
notice
managers of the
these
shoebox.
social distancing panels are in place.
Wait, I think there's our dog in here.
Oh, wait, yeah, our dog. There it is. That's my dog. I have a Great Pyrenees.
We have 2 Great Pyrenees.
2.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Beautiful dogs.
That's Leo.
And how big is the bar?
Yay big.
Yeah, it's on the screen. It's about that big, but in the
How many seats? Non-COVID time. How many seats?
I think it's 75 seats downstairs and 59 upstairs,
Okay.
and 30 on the patio. It's tiny.
Yeah.
But you know what though? I might even have a.
You have some interior shots.
Do I have some interior shots? I might have.
And you guys are also serving food there, or it's only?
Oh yeah, we have it's a tap room, so everything, we have a
right here,
small
tap
menu,
room.
and
Okay.
everything
10
just
items,
pairs with
yeah.
beer. It's all local. It's probably about a 50-mile or 50-kilometer
Yeah.
radius menu. So we have a lot of agriculture up here. Barrie is actually considered rural agricultural area.
Gene Simmons.
there's
Who has a
Gina.
Gene Simmons in
Gina
there?
Simmons.
Wear a mask.
Wear a mask. Come in here, wear a mask. But yeah, so we do have food, but mostly this is what we have. Lots of beer. We have 16 taps. So core beers, pilot brews, interesting things we're experimenting with, just stuff the brewers wanted to do.
Guest brews also, or not? Guest brew is also guest beers, or no?
No guest.
Okay.
No,
We should do that.
we should do it. We like to share, but it's weird. We just have enough beer to, you can see all the albums of.
Peter talked about narcissism before.
Yeah.
Flying narcissists.
Yeah, it's a cool place, though. I mean, you got to come out there and experience the culture. It kind of invokes who we are in terms of culture. It's like a juke joint.
It's fun. We do our best to support our, you have a brewery and you become the heartbeat of your small downtown. So you want to support local artists and musicians, and you want to be that place when somebody has a friend come to town, they say, oh, I know a cool place we can go. And that's what you want a brewery to be in a town. And, like people always say, oh, what's your demographic? Like, who do you market to?
Oh, I hate that. Hey, check the roof out. That looks cool.
That's great. It took a long time to do that. But a lot
she did
of
that by hand.
I did that by hand.
She drew each poster. No, she didn't do that.
But a lot of people say, what's your demographic? And when you go in our tap room, you'll see it. It's everyone from, 8 to 80. It's just a neat place. Everybody goes. And
young at heart.
Young at heart. Yeah, there's something for everybody.
Oh, this is cool.
Yeah, it has this look and feel.
I know what this is. Lean back. You know who this guy is? Lean over, Peter.
Yeah,
That's Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.
This is in our
Came
tap
to
room.
visit the brewery.
Okay.
I'm pretty proud. Yeah. So there he is. Isn't he cute? I mean, beyond being the leader of the country and all that, he's kind of cute.
I got a man crush on him.
Yeah, everybody likes Justin. Everybody likes Justin. It's okay. I like Justin too. And that's my daughter, Mary Grace. And that's our niece, Becky. We know all these people.
Yeah, so
I'm being
we were all in
Sam.
Las Vegas when he came to visit, getting wasted.
No, we weren't. We were there at a U.S. wholesaler show.
Bullshit, we were.
And they called and said, hey, the Prime Minister is coming through Barrie, and he wants to stop at your brewery because he was talking about small businesses.
We couldn't get a flight back.
And we couldn't get a flight. And so the funny thing is Peter and I are gone, and Peter's sister, Patty, she's the VP of sales. She's way cooler than me. And she was going on.
Is this possible?
Way cooler. She was coming. We were coming home from vacation, and she was leaving. So the only people at the brewery, as we call them, the kids. There's like nobody at the brewery over the age of 40. And we just said, go for it. You guys, what to do.
Entertain the Prime Minister.
Clean the place up. Get the taps going. Do whatever the police tell you. And it was amazing. We watched it. We watched it from our security cameras while we were in Las Vegas. It was really cool, though, and it was a very interesting. It was just an interesting landmark. I mean, whatever your political affiliation is, it's just really exciting when your president or your prime minister chooses your business to visit. And really proud and excited to have that.
Yeah, that's something I completely agree. I would say,
let's do it.
Let's do the freak show.
So I did get one thing fun on the label on this, because when I was in literature, my favorite was Southern women writers, and I got to work in a quotation by Flannery O'Connor. And Flannery O'Connor is probably one of my favorite writers.
Okay.
So I'll pour beer while you talk about it, Peter.
Okay, what do you want to know about this? This is actually probably my favorite beer of all the beers. No, it's not.
That's like saying you have a favorite child.
No, you know what? Truthfully, I think if I'm going like session, it's going to be my favorite. But if I'm going if I'm going to go have a beer, I want to have a Sparklepuff.
Well,
So
first try this one.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely Freakshow.
We're sharing. Should I give you more in there? Should I give you more? My habit is to share everything because I'm just that kind of giving person. Pretty head on that one.
And they can appeal to share. They can appeal to share, especially with size.
I favor an active pour.
Okay.
This has got a lot of hops in it. It's probably one of our more expensive beers to produce just because it's got so much in terms of hops. Equinaut, Exaka, what else? You name it. This one actually has Hallertauer Blanc in it.
It does. Yeah, it does. It does. And I don't know if you catch it, but just somewhere in the aroma there, you get a little bit of these white winey notes, almost like a muscat. There's a little bit of a... There's an earthiness you get out of that one. And I feel like that's the Hallertau Blanc hops.
We're going to be like, Marcus, you're like torching everybody's palate with like 6 ITAs.
But they all taste different.
Oh, they are different. It's awesome though.
Yeah, they are different. And we build it up, from intensity, from the low ones up to the really monsters.
Those are the 10% are light beers.
And this is your favorite beer. Why?
I mean, it's that New England sort of hazy style I just love. You just can't beat it.
Okay.
Big hop profile, and I love the addition. It's a lot. It's not just dry hopping. It's a lot of late additions in the whirlpool.
Yeah.
And to me, it is. Honestly, I sign the checks too. I see how much in terms of hops we put in this thing, and we cast a lot of hops in this beer.
Yeah.
And that's what really makes a difference. So, and we're using 6 different hops actually.
Yeah. Well, this one's got everything from North American hops like Citra, and then they have New Zealand hop. Yeah, we got Motueka, which is the New Zealand hop.
Motueko.
Motueko. I don't know. I don't know. That one. How do
you say it?
I say Motueka. I don't know. I feel like it's like pretty cool. And Azaka, which is cool. And I just found out that Azaka was actually a hop named after the Haitian god of agriculture. So there's fun trivia. I did not know that until today. I read the label. I read the instructions, which we don't always do.
Cool. Yeast. What kind of yeast you're using? Is this something you can share with us?
Yeah, of course. I think this one's a foggy yeast. London Fog.
I'll look it up on the recipe sheet.
Do you have it? I think it's a London Fog.
It is. Oh, no, this is a California ale yeast. This one. We're going into the...
Well, you're looking at Mutants, not...
Oh, because I'm looking at Mutants.
Mutants is definitely Cali. You want a clean fermentation.
Yeah, there you go. And you are right, London Fog. Good job, Peter.
Yeah.
London Fog ale yeast.
It's been 10 years since I've been in the brew house, Marcus. I haven't brewed for a long time, so I apologize. That's a good story, actually. So my last time I brewed, that wasn't the last time I brewed, but it would sound better than the story was.
You took over the brewery. When you took over the brew house, you said, that's it. Yeah. Nobody else is allowed in my brew house. When we became Flying Monkeys, he did the first couple brands on his own. He said, that's it. I'm taking over. I'm tired of dealing with brewers, and they're not doing what I want them to do, and they're not bringing in hops, and I don't want to create another cream ale. Finish the story, Peter.
No, but you're right, though. Sometimes you just kind of get involved, right? And that's kind of what we did really there.
I think there's not a valve or a connection you didn't change in the brewery.
Yeah.
What's the picture behind you at the moment?
This is a picture of our grandfathers.
No, that's Peter. That's Peter.
No,
that's me.
That's Andrea.
That's me.
Yeah. And then, hey, but here's the next picture is a really cool picture.
Don't I look like a visionary at age?
Yeah, you can tell that she's a smart one in the brewery. I'm the idiot.
No, the other one. Oh, that's one of my old.
I don't know why I put that there.
That's cool. It's fun. That's just kind of how a brand develops, and notes and Psycho Thrill Seekers was a double IPA. I don't know why you put that in there either.
Well, look at this, Marcus.
Oh, who's that Who's that cute little
that's
cowboy?
Me. Can you not tell him
that's you? Huh? Cowboy from the beginning on. The Italian cowboy.
Yeah, starting a bit
cherry
experiences here.
Yeah, he's
experienced. But hey, it is what it is. No, what were we talking about?
Freakshow Crush?
Oh, Freakshow, yeah. No,
Freakshow is the beer in the class at the moment.
I know, but you asked me a question and I already went off on a tangent doing something else. So
is this a baseball field? What is this?
No, it's a football stadium. This is an Alabama game, actually.
Oh, roll Tide. Football is American.
Hey, wait, this is a huge, this
is horrible. This is in university during an ice storm in 1992.
Yeah, we started brewing together.
This is our first beer we brewed together, and I'm filling it. I hadn't taken a shower in a week because we had no water. It was Mississippi. Yeah. And they don't have it. Anyway, here's what the brewery used to look like.
This is what the brewery used to look like before you go.
Yeah.
It's a shithole before.
It was very ugly. Very ugly.
Hey, this is the history of the brewery.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Here's a story. I had my own. We built our own brewing system in my garage.
So I didn't get to park my car in the garage
for 2 years.
It was covered in snow for 2 winters.
And $800 power bill. And they thought that we were growing marijuana.
They thought we were a grow up in my garage.
My power bills were so big.
I said, no, we're a nice Catholic family with children. We're just brewing illegal beer.
Yeah, that's exactly what
we're not growing pot. We're brewing illegal beer.
So these are 250,000 pounds of steel in this.
This is building the brewery.
Yeah. But if you look at the brewery, it overlooks the lake. It's kind of cool.
The frozen lake back then.
Frozen.
Yeah. Cool. So Katharina is coming up with a question. In which frequency, roughly, do you get out a new beer? Is there a strategy of sorts, or does it just happen when somebody gets a new idea?
That's a great idea.
Wow.
Good question. Thank you, Katarina.
Hey, here's our kids.
Oh my God, that's my kids.
Okay.
When we built the brewery.
It's nice of you to add the children.
I know, but they're all sullen teenagers now. They're old and they're friggin' crotchety. So hey, I'm going to answer that question.
Okay? Right after we show you Father Charles, who blesses all of our tanks.
Yeah, we bless all of our tanks because we have to repent our sins every week. I have to repent my sins. But anyway, so okay, let's back to Katarina. That's a good question. What was the question again? I forgot.
Do you brew a beer just when the mood strikes you, or is there a calendar or a reason?
Oh my gosh. If it was this beautiful, poetic, just artistry, the reality.
I have a dream sometimes.
Yeah, no, the reality is we're pretty disciplined. We love, at this brewery, we love Dick. That doesn't sound right. We love Dick being discipline, intelligence, and creativity.
DIC.
It might not be the same Dick that you're thinking about, but so it's DIC Dick. And really part of that discipline is every, whatever we have on our schedule is we develop a recipe. So we really work hard to hit our timeline. So we're, as much as we are artistic, we're pretty.
We have to sell beer.
We got to sell beer and be organized.
Sometimes it's based on product calls for the LCBO, which is the Liquor Control Board of Ontario, where we sell most of our beer.
Okay.
So we have little traditions. Like over the last few years, our tradition seems to be we do double IPAs in the fall and the spring. So that's like double season for us. So we always that's kind of a tradition. And look at that, Peter lifting it up. Oh, good job, Peter. Good job. Anyway, oh my God, that was so good. Nice timing. Anyway, so but we do have a beer calendar and we do check our releases. Sometimes it's based on product call, and sometimes it's just based on, hey, remember that beer that the brewers did like 6 months ago? That would be amazing in a package. Let's figure out a way to scale up. That's why the tap room is so great, is that we can do a lot of experimentation before we scale up a brew. So that's fun. So
did we
answer Katarina's question? Yeah. Yes, both. it's always yes.
Keep it short and compact. Yes, both.
Yes.
There you go.
Cool.
Oh, there's the brew house. Okay. Back in the old days, you could see the waterfront from that brewery. Mm-hmm. But we've added tanks, and I call it the stainless jungle now. Steel jungle. But they used to be so big we could have brewery dinners.
You can see all the
house.
catwalks right here if you take a look, because we do all that dry hop editions.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get up on ladders or skyjacks. We have a proper catwalk system to do all of our editions.
Yeah,
into the fermenters.
Yeah.
Just a little technical piece there.
And the nice thing, you see reflections up here. There's reflections of the skylight. So the skylight's twofold. First of all, we have a beautiful daylight brewery. Second of all, that whole top of the brewery comes off. You saw when they were dropping tanks in.
Yeah.
That's how we put new tanks in the brewery. We pull the roof off, drop it in.
If you ever want to,
it's not possible anymore, huh? Because it's steel.
Yeah, we still do it. But I was going to tell you a secret. If you ever want to steal all of our tanks, the roof is not locked like the skylight. Okay, so
I will make a note. And if we need some stainless steel here in Austria.
Yeah. And this was the original picture of Robert Simpson's brewery. These are the original old dairy guys. And we're back to that beautiful Andrea. Just looking at, I know the answers to the universe, and I'm only like 3. And now we're in the Matrix.
The blue pill or the red pill?
No, you sound like you're a QAnon guy. Don't do that. Oh, no. Okay. What's next?
Come on, Mark.
Nobody wants to ask
You're using it.
Got to get us under control, Marcus. Come on.
No. I will let you know if it's going too wild, but so far everything is cool. Oh, it's super.
Really, that's like a challenge.
Filtration, centrifuge. What kind of gadget you're using?
Yeah, we're using a GEA centrifuge.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, when did that start? That started right around the Freakshow Sparklepuff days.
Yeah,
right?
It was about 3 years ago, I think. So we've been.
There's a story about that when we get to Sparklepuff.
We used to do just DE candle filter, and actually before that we had a Spadoni leaf filter, but we only centrifuge now for sure, 100%. It brings. Let's face it.
Why strip all the hops out of the beer?
Yeah, why strip the flavor? No, it's beautiful. But they're an art in themselves. Centrifuges are like finicky. They're like canning lines. I mean, you gotta take care of your centrifuge, and you gotta keep on PMing it.
Yeah, that's true. It's a really expensive equipment, but it's really, on the other hand, it's really, really important.
Absolutely.
Especially for all these hop forward beers.
Same with that $50,000 in lab equipment.
Yeah,
that was a joke, but
the $250,000.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So Matt is asking, are most of your sales via cans or draft when we go back to normal?
Yeah.
Or when we go back to 2019?
Who asked this question?
Matt.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, Matt, we are probably 37. No, not 37. No, probably like.
That's 20. Like only have $50,000 in lab.
No. Yeah, I know. No, we're probably 80, almost 83% packaged now. So when we 17% draft. That's
so it. Juicy Ass was the first beer that was released the first time in a can. Up until then, we still did 355 milliliter bottles, and we did 6-packs and stuff. And then we were one of the last holdouts in Ontario. Everybody was going to the 473 milliliter single serve can of beer. And we just got to the point where we realized it makes sense. Like people want to, it's great to be able to try a beer for, $3.50 and not have to invest in a $13 6-pack. And people, craft beer, we're the same people. We are craft beer people, and we love trying a lot of different beers and filling up our grocery carts and with a lot of stuff. So we ended up going with, so Juicy Ass was our first beer that just went straight to a can and never had anything else.
And you're allowed to sell single cans, so you don't have to sell 4-packs or 6-packs. So it's legal to sell single package beers.
Yes, that's correct.
That's Peter. Wait, let me find my finger. That's Peter.
And it's Halloween or what?
Yeah, we tried to be the twins from The Shining. Forever and ever.
So then canned beer is kind of...
Get that out. People don't want to drink it.
It's not
What's that?
too long in the history now, huh? So when you started canning beers only?
2015 2015, I think.
Okay.
Let's see, yeah, 2016.
2016.
2016 with Juicy Ass.
Is that what it was?
2016.
Right.
I wrote down that fun fact.
We had a old clunker filler. So it got us by.
Okay.
It's fun.
And that means now you're completely stopped bottling beers because now we also got this chocolate. No.
Oh, no. We do bottle one beer, and I saved my bottling line.
2 beers.
But we only have one left though. That was a one-time deal.
Divinity?
Yeah.
Oh.
So just Invictus still comes in a
473 milliliter bottle.
Okay.
So Invictus is right here. There it is.
I'll lean out the picture there.
So this is Invictus. It's 18. This one,
beer.
18.2% alcohol. Russian Imperial. It's the #1 rated beer in Canada. So we're proud of that. There's a lot of small boutique breweries that have a lot easier time making incredible beers than bigger breweries that have, we're not as nimble as them. We try to be. And for us to have, as much as we do a lot of production, to have that kind of, the #1 rating is pretty, for us, we really enjoy it.
That's one of those beers you do just because you love craft brewing.
Yeah, I don't care if I sell one bottle. I don't give a shit.
How many does it take in a fermenter?
I think it's 6 weeks in steel, and then right now we're
2 years in bourbon barrels.
And then we now we're up to, I think, a 5-year. We're releasing after 5 years.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a Solera program, so we just lay in the next layer.
Okay.
So it's 100% Solera from 2012, and every year. So we're continuing the Solera.
But as a beer, it's just a tribute to all of the craft brewers who have that one beer they brew just because they love the art.
Yeah.
And it is definitely a testament to all the other people who brew. And
so we're telling everybody that because you don't have it in your hand, so you can't drink it and enjoy it.
And you'll never be able to find it.
So we're being that 1%
you're
asshole.
Such jerks.
Isn't that true?
I'll get out of the way there. My office chair. Anyway.
It's all good.
Cool. But that means that chocolate manifesto will also be only available in cans for the rest.
That's correct. Yes, we want it to be more.
The first package.
Yeah, we're looking at. That beer is a fun beer in itself.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's really amazing.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit of how you brew this beer? What's the secret?
Gosh, 3 kinds of chocolate.
We are not tasting it tonight, but we have it here in Austria.
What are we Invictus or Chocolate Manifesto?
What are we talking about?
Chocolate Manifesto. Tell us how you make this, because I know there are a lot of people really enjoying this beer, even we're not having it in the tasting tonight, but please tell us.
It is.
It's a chocolate bomb. Think about chocolate and beer, and it's our definitive statement for chocolate and beer.
We started that beer. So 2012, we brewed a chocolate stout with the band, the Bare Naked Ladies. And it was so fun and sweet and interesting. We said, we've got to continue these experimentations of brewing with chocolate and beer. So we went a couple more years, and we partnered with a organic chocolate company from Toronto and called Choco Soul. And they turned us on to raw organic cocoa nibs. And then we turned those nibs into powders. Peter had some kind of ridiculously rich dark chocolate malts. And
we used a bunch of chocolate syrup.
And a bunch of chocolate syrup.
No, actually,
now we're actually using a Belgian chocolate in it.
No, we are. It is too. It's a dark in itself. It's a Dutch, actually. Dutch
is that what it is? Dutch chocolate. It's a fun beer, and then lots of lactose. And it makes it have that green, creamy, delicious mouthfeel to it. It's velvety and big and voluptuous, and it's everything you want in chocolate and beer.
No, it's really great beer.
Ice cream float. It's such an, and it's so funny because we just had it last week, and it was the first time I had it in a long time.
Okay.
And you open that can, and the whole room smells like chocolate.
I think for us, it's one of the most intense chocolate beers I ever had in my life.
We intend to do that. We said,
purpose.
if you're going to call it a triple chocolate milk stout,
Yeah.
You're going to pound the chocolate. You know?
If you're going to call it a double IP or a pineapple IPA, make sure you have pineapple.
Tastes like pineapple.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you want to go halfway, right? You can't be half pregnant, so you know.
You can't be half pregnant.
Pete, this is a weird thing.
So you want to know fun facts, don't you, Marcus? Come on.
Peter has his fireworks handling license.
I'm a fireworks guy. I like big balls.
No, those are
fireworks.
Fireworks. He and my daughter. So my daughter Ann Caroline, who was 19 years old at the time, did for father-daughter time.
This is what we do.
They got they did fireworks displays.
Doesn't everybody
like to blow shit up?
Yeah, and every
American.
But every father likes to. If you're going to spend time with your daughter, you're going to spend time doing fireworks and blowing shit up, though. So that's what my daughter and I do together.
The funny thing is, though, she was the best one at it because she has these little nimble hands, and she was the one that could do the fuses and connect it. Isn't she cute?
Okay, now I'm gonna
hate that you did that.
Okay, so the fireworks that we just did.
See, I keep my daughter.
The fireworks, the little small kid. Now she's.
Oh, but here's the fun part. Can you see the nuclear reactors back there?
Those are nuclear reactors back there
in Oshawa, Ontario.
Yeah. So we're doing
know that.
We're doing a fireworks display, Marcus, and we're right next to a nuclear power plant. That only in Canada could that ever happen.
Sounds safe.
That's what I want to tell, you know. In Europe, especially in Austria, luckily we don't have any of those things here in Austria, but it will be never going to be allowed.
It's because of him.
Wait, let me get this straight. You don't have fireworks?
Didn't everyone like fireworks? So yes, we'd like to see it, yeah.
Oh my gosh, fireworks rule.
This is our backyard. Korea Day or Canada Day? I forget. Canada Day?
Yeah, you gotta enjoy it, man. Anyways, it's great. Sorry, are we talking about beer know, Marcus? I thought you're supposed to keep us focused.
This is a perfect
No, we are still focused, you know, because we really got you to know, you know, we know.
But this is a great segue.
As much as we can get out of this tasting, I guess, you know.
We've got our summer beer is going to be a margarita IPA called Fireworks and Karate.
Like, come on, who wouldn't have
those
a
fireworks?
Okay, makes sense now.
Here's the fireworks part.
Fireworks.
So, Peter, we are still talking about beer. We are still focused, you know.
We are
very.
Definitely, but you have to have karate with fireworks.
Yeah. No,
that makes sense, right?
Yeah, for sure, it makes sense. Really, really, really nice, you know, to see. There's another question coming up. Manfred is asking if you have any plans to grow and make this shoebox bigger in the future. Is there space to extend?
Investor?
Oh, I don't know. Manfred, are you an investor?
Many $1 million. I'm joking.
You know, it's one of those things. We enjoy what we're doing now. We get to do. We have all the freedom in the world. I mean, we're debt free, almost debt free, and you know, why would you want to? I don't want to. I know.
Wait, hold it. I know. Are you debt free?
Yeah, I know.
Can I get paid now?
But you know, why do we want to? We know the kind of brewery that we would build going forward, and it's going to cost us probably $20 million. I'm 55. I don't want to take on $20 million worth of debt. I'm at the point I'm comfortable. So sometimes you kind of got to just enjoy what you have and think, you know, we're blessed that we can do what we want. And, you know, we got cool guys like you, Marcus, promoting our beer. We get to come and visit you and write it off as a business expense and go out and get shit-faced with you when we visit Austria. So it's freaking awesome, right? So I think that's.
So I'm going to tell you the short answer. You never know.
You never know, but so is there still space to grow, or is it now end of the year?
No, wait, that's not true. So there's some room under my desk in my office. We could fit a small squat tub of something.
And, we can get a small little 1-hex system under her desk. We've been
experimenting with the tanks on the backs of the toilets. Maybe we can put some beer in there.
Get out the water tanks of the toilets.
Toilet beer. No, I don't know. We're pretty tight. We've actually even started to custom design some really small fermenters to go downstairs around the packaging area, right?
Yeah,
Where'd you get those made? Because they were
everything's custom. It's true.
Those
it's
short,
truly
fat things, kind of like me.
It's configured like a Swiss watch. Is that offensive to you guys being in Austria?
What?
I said our brewery is configured like a Swiss watch. It's so
okay. Yeah.
Is there such a thing as an Austrian watch?
Yeah. Fine-tuned.
Goes into another one.
You know, a good point here. Here's us at Hop. We're in Yakima here in this video. Yeah,
that's one of our.
And you know, we actually purchased about $1.5 million worth of hops a year. So we
do have contracts.
So we actually go out and we go to the specific fields because we're so IPA centric. We'll actually go out there. We'll visit the fields. We'll visit the parcels within the fields, and we'll know exactly during the selection process what we're getting and take and basically select the hops accordingly.
Yeah. So they call it hop nosing, and we know like we want lot A from farm 5,
Carpenter Farm.
You know,
and this is a Carpenter
from the month
Farm,
of month of February. Those are the Holler Tower hops we want or whatever.
I mean, we're joking around, but when it comes to the hop side, we're very focused on.
We respect
selection.
the hops. That's another thing we say.
We do. Hey, I thought, do we have any more beer? I thought we're like, what are we on, number 3 or something?
We're getting ready.
We can go now to live in transmission can be the next one. If you are ready. We are ready.
So I'm going to roll this one around a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit of rolling with this one, just make sure we get everything off the bottom.
Put it on the head, like an unfiltered lager beer, for example. Yeah.
There we go.
Live in transmission.
Noise in the world. That is a beautiful orange color. Oh, it kind of doesn't come out quite so orange on the camera. It's a beautiful orange color.
Yes.
Big coconut from that Sabro. This is a good example of Sabro shining in its finest right here. What a great hop.
Yeah. That's coconut.
Coconut, big coconut.
Well, you also do have a little bit of like coconut loose tea.
Yeah, but this is Sabro, man. Totally Sabro. Live tea is this thing that I don't know how long we're going to keep it for, because I think that, I'm going to say it here, milkshakes are a dying breed.
It was fun. It
was a fun style while we worked with it.
Really? Is this something you can see happening in Canada or in the States?
Yeah, okay. Honestly, I'm going to tell you a secret. I think I'm over it. I'm over milkshakes.
He's over. I
want to move on to the next notch in my bedpost. That didn't sound right.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, but I think that milkshakes. Yeah, I mean, I think people are going to lighter styles, and this is a great beer, though.
That being said, we still love doing lactose IPAs. Too, so you better watch. You better not write a check your ass can't catch.
But it's kind of the truth, because now when you read, especially in the States, that the people or the brewers are switching back to all that kind of traditional West Coast IPAs. That's something which is coming back.
For sure.
Is this something you can also see in Canada? Is this something you agree on it?
We built the lager just recently with 6-row malt in it. Like, who uses 6-row?
2-row and 6-row.
Okay.
I know who uses 6-row.
Yeah, so do I. Budweiser.
Commercial breweries, really big commercial breweries. But you know what? That's you got to think about it. They do some things right. They've got great quality. They've got consistency to beers. I mean, there's something we can learn as craft brewers, and not just always, be like old man shaking fist at cloud. But something from the really successful.
I think that we can use 6-row and maybe even put hops in our beer and make it a little bit better. I mean, hooray.
Hence the name Modern Lager.
Modern Lager, right? 6-row, and guess what? It's unfiltered, centrifuged.
Okay.
So these are the things that we're kind of like, yeah. I mean, you got to be nimble as a brewery now. You got to change with the times and be fast.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, trends are accelerated. We always say it. It's just this acceleration of
accelerated culture.
Yeah,
the tales from an accelerated culture.
100%.
But so we want to talk about live transmission.
We're talking about live. This is all about live transmission, really.
So
when you think about it.
The name, it does come from a Joy Division song.
It is from Joy Division. You ever heard of that band? Yeah.
Joy
Division live transmission.
Yeah, we're
old. I'm 55. I just got my vaccine this morning
today. Yeah.
Okay. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I am 81, and I'm really good for my age.
I just got my vaccine. I'm like freaking sloshing beer back. It's awesome.
They told him, drink a lot. It helps.
Drink a lot. It helps.
There you guys are at the hop nosing again. That's Seb. That's one of our craft brewer. That's one of the, what's he called now?
Yeah,
Seb grew with us.
He did.
Where is he now? What do we call him now? Overlord?
Peter, what kind of hops are additional into this brew?
Gosh, you're gonna make me look at my notes on that one.
Yeah.
We've done 700 brews over my lifespan here that we have recipes.
700. Okay.
700. I think if you go to Untapped, we're probably around maybe more. I don't know.
Probably 699 of those totally need to be on there.
Yeah, there's a lot of catastrophes as much as there's some rock stars. Okay, so live tea. I mean, I think that the orange peel, you can get that kind of that little pithy orange peel flavor coming through, but it's basically Citra, Idaho, and Mosaic. Yeah. There you go. The Sabro's on the dry hop edition, obviously.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, that's kind of what you got coming through.
I like the.
That's true.
I like the Mosaic. Why did we choose the hops we did to go into this beer? It was all the ones that have like a bit of a tangerine profile, orange citrus profile, maybe like a mango profile. And then we do added in the fermenters, we do like these, I don't even know, big pack, like just like cheese bags kind of loose tea.
It's women's pantyhose.
We literally stuff women's pantyhose.
Secret. We go down to the dollar store and get women's pantyhose. And we
queen size, big women like me who are lots to love. And we really have a custom made tea blend. It's white tea. It's got coconut husk. It's got orange peel in it. We have a guy that makes it for us.
And you got to be able to grab it. Is it fine cut? Is it loose cut?
And he does a tea for us, and we literally put that in the fermenter, and that's where you get a lot of those like the amped up flavors. Plus, it's a lactose beer, so we have some lactose that creates that sweetness, and it's fun. It's just a fun beer,
and
it's a nice summer beer.
It's kind of interesting.
It's a nice summer beer, and it's really dangerous, because it's not really intense of alcohol-wise, so it's really good covered, the alcohol.
You're exactly right, because it goes down so easily and so fast. Yeah. I don't know if you had recently we did a blood orange mango IPA, Adventures in Time Surfing, and it was so delicious, and I would drink it like it was soda, pop. And the next thing you know is like, oh my God, I just drank an entire 8% beer.
8% beer. You drink like 3 of them and you're like you're walking into walls and shit.
It's not that beer you have. Right, unless you're going to take a nap.
So, Tom is asking about Canada and Ontario. Where inside and outside of Canada do you sell most of your beers?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd say probably. First of all, we export because we love the idea of international commerce, international travel. We love the idea of being able to to sell around the world. So we're in about 23 different countries, from South America to Asia to Europe to the US. So I think the only continent we're not on is Australia and South America, which actually
I don't know if we're in the UK anymore with Brexit.
Oh, you know what? We're not actually in the UK. We are in Sweden and Finland.
Friends, share with them.
There you go. But I mean, we
have good friends in the UK, but sorry to interrupt you, but it's getting more and more difficult for us, because they are not in the EU anymore, and all these paperwork and transit times are
it's hard.
More complicated than shipping beer from the States to Europe, So
yeah, I know.
But the answer is, Marcus, we do it because we love it. Yeah. We're not doing it to make money. We truly do export just to have fun and to go out and visit and to be inspired by other cultures too. We still learn.
Yeah. Well, craft beer is a global.
To be a little bit proud. To be a little bit proud when you're traveling around the world and you find individual places which are having your beers, huh?
Oh, it's a very proud moment.
Every now and then somebody will send us a picture like, oh, I was on vacation and I found your beer in, Milan.
That's something for the heart, huh?
It is. It's exciting. But I also know that we also are very much a boutique brewery, maybe probably in Europe, or probably a niche small thing. But it's really exciting. We're starting to export a little bit more to the U.S. We're just in the Northeast, kind of near the border. But we've got some good relationships with some guys in the U.S. and that's a lot of fun too. Like when we get a chance to do collaborations with breweries from Michigan or Illinois or where.
But we haven't really taken a lot of export business on because we're really at capacity. So want to take care of our customers right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Take care of you guys.
I've been dealing with GoPath now since 2013. I mean, we've been partying together for.
So when we met Julia,
8 years,
she was pregnant and her daughter is now 8 or almost 8. So that was funny. And you were pregnant. I can't believe this.
It's also something like a unique thing, out of our industry that is really building relationships, between families and ages, So
I remember Santiago, he was still a pro soccer player. Pro football player. So
what, was he really?
Yeah, he was. He was semi-pro.
Really? Okay.
He's the nicest guy.
So Matt is asking the next question. Milkshake has been a very popular style as of late. Is there any other style that you guys want to brew or see yourself moving towards next? What's your next notch?
We did a sour.
Yeah, we did that. I just had a smoothie, which I thought was pretty darn good. How to figure that out from a production perspective will be very challenging. Okay.
So it was it's kind
have you had a smoothie?
A milkshake beer on steroids. They make a milkshake beer, but then they basically take, I don't know, baby food. It's like something that's like so pureed, so much pureed food. It's in there.
Omnipollo is doing similar things, in Europe. Omnipollo, the Swedish guys are doing kind of these things,
I don't know how you would be able to can those where they wouldn't explode.
It's a smoothie. You got to keep them cold or they will explode.
But is there any other style besides that you would do?
I mean, we're always experimenting.
The lager.
The lager,
The lager.
Modern lager.
Everybody's got to have one in their fridge. That's my go-to. I hate to say it, for a brewery that's renowned for IPAs, I'm going to give you a moment of truth. I'll go for my lagers first. Because that's the beer that's great with a lot of different types of foods, and it's
let's talk now.
Low ABV if it's my diet.
Marcus, I'll tell you the latest thing that we've been working on. Infinite Minds.
Oh,
why
interesting.
Not?
Interesting.
I'm going to show you. Okay, so we had the whole seltzer market.
Well,
I know. Don't do that though. Hey, we're look at this.
We're with you. We're with you.
We're totally with you.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
You didn't get the sound out. You didn't get the sound.
I didn't get sound. This is it. Is it.
That's
right?
what the.
Is that not what the lager market is? That's what the seltzer market is.
So we have the odd person that comes to our brewery.
I promise not a lemon.
They're lactose free. They don't want beer. They're tagging on with a friend who's not a beer drinker. We do have Ontario wines, but we thought, what the heck? Who knows water better than a craft brewer?
So we're doing supersonic puppy dreams. I think that's a good name.
Yeah.
For a seltzer.
Tastes like a stick of juicy fruit gum right out of your mom's purse.
So we're not doing just lemon or black cherry. We're let's destroy this market.
This one's lemon gooseberry ginger, and it's Robots Kiss Butterflies.
Robots Kiss Butterflies.
But we decided to take the craft beer mindset to the lagers, because craft brewers know water. They know flavors. They know how to make things interesting and different. So that's for fun. That's what we did.
So that's what we did, man.
Our cool tagline. Yeah. Something weird for everybody.
There you go. Something weird for everybody. But that's
we haven't even put it on the market. It just started. Yeah, Why did you do that? That's a teaser. He's being sneaky.
It's all good. Here, we're going to probably end up in jail.
Oh, in jail. And now we're back at home.
Sweet home.
But Marcus, that's the creative process.
So I'm making a lot of excuses for why we did a seltzer, but we said, look at all the people doing seltzers. Who knows water better than a craft brewer? We all know about water chemistry and how to do it.
We do.
We know all about flavors and profiles. And we support a lot of there's a lot of great Ontario wineries, and we have a couple Ontario wines in our tap room. For there's always somebody that's not a beer person, or maybe because of dietary or something, they don't want wine. But we thought let's do a seltzer. Why not? It's going to be in our tap room. I don't know where else it's going to go. It was a lot of fun to develop. Like it was something different that we got to experiment with. And I think, will it change our mindset as brewers? Absolutely.
Yeah, because you have to jump on this train, because everyone is doing it. So of course you have to get out some shares also of that part of business. But the most important question is how you guys do this. Is it a fermented hard seltzer, or are you buying some spirits and make it? No.
Well, we haven't figured out that side yet, but the other side is fermented.
Okay.
Yeah. But like I said, right now we're just experimenting, having some fun. It's something different to offer in the summertime.
It's
on
more
our
the
own
process.
patio.
Why we're just giving you an example of creating a market in something that is so damn boring right now. That
back to the original question.
You got to turn things upside down.
Yeah, and back to the original question. What are you guys doing different? Well, yeah, we do. We make lagers, and we're actually really pretty freaking good at them because we're very careful brewers. Despite the fact that we do crazy stuff,
we're even careful. We're in jail right now, and we're still brewing. We're brewing, and we're in my jail.
Toilet. I'm making toilet wine, but not. But the next part is why not? What's the next thing? So we're all brewers, and we all like to drink a lager in addition to an IPA. I'm not going to lie. There's a certain point in the afternoon where you said, I'm still thirsty. I'm still enjoying myself, but I think I'm a little beered out. I think you get palate fatigue from so many IPAs. A seltzer is not a bad option sometimes.
Yeah.
There, I said it. I know it's
but there's a huge difference, between the States and Europe. So taste-wise, all that kind of stuff. So I'm really curious to see where hard seltzer will end in Europe.
Where will it end?
There's a question coming out from Utah. Utah is asking, is there something like a brewery law in Canada, or you can do whatever you want?
Did she just ask about the Rhinoscobot?
She's asking.
Honestly, I feel bad. It's what I'm going to say this. We like to color outside of the lines.
Okay.
We don't color within the lines. Okay. So to constrain us by, styles or ingredients is just, it's soul breaking. Okay. It really is tough. It scorches our soul to not be able to use, anything, including the kitchen sink, into a beer, into development of a beer.
Pencil shavings, Halloween candy,
It's a good point though.
But is it still allowed then? You can use every ingredient, or then you have to make some excuse, because even then you are not allowed to call it beer.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I see.
We're still using.
It has to be
water and yeast. Yeah.
Malt fermented.
Yeah.
I think our closest call was probably the Matador, because there was so
we did it was our 8th anniversary beer, and we aged it on Spanish cedar. The cedar they used to make cigar boxes in our new profile. And what was the problem with that one, Pete?
4 parts per million arsenic.
Well, because from the cedar, right? Because certain cedars have certain. But no, she's.
But that was still well beyond.
But we do. I think to answer her, we do all of our brewing with malt, hops, water, and yeast.
100%.
And are you asking about adjuncts, like in terms of the teas and the fruits and all those additions? We do it. Everybody does it here, and it's accepted in Ontario. And we are starting to work with more stricter labeling laws, and so we're now including all that. If you make a pineapple IPA and it's not just pineapple puree, you have to put everything on the label. So we label things.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I think the key is the label is not to constrain yourself by this artistic palette. If we want to put chocolate in beer, we'll put friggin' chocolate in beer.
That's not according to the Reinheit School.
So there's another question coming up before we go to the next beer. You mentioned that you brewed 700 beers. More or less, doesn't matter at all. It's quite a big number. Any ideas or plans to rebrew some of the older recipes?
We get that question a lot. Are you guys going to bring back
Okay, I'm going to.
That's something we can ask because we don't know the brewery's recipes, but that can be something,
First of all,
if you answer, and then I have the second answer.
Okay. If you ever want to get a recipe, just email me. But the reality is, we have not put out a multi-pack because we don't believe in greatest hits albums. If we're putting out a greatest hits album, it's a money grab. And we haven't done it yet. So when you do see us do it, you can call us on it. I don't have any plans to do it. We still have a lot of creative energy, I think. And when I lose my creative energy, when Andrea loses hers, I think then we'll call it a day and we'll put out that greatest hits album. But until that point in time, I still got a lot of ideas to go.
Okay,
we're working into beers into next year already.
This is you hit on a philosophical argument we have in when we're in jail, because we have a lot of time to talk here in prison. The Flying Monkeys, even though Peter is like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for 17 years. I know that we're the new brewery to a lot of people, especially maybe in Europe or the United States or other markets.
Yeah.
So we get people all the time asking us, oh my gosh, will you guys rebrew Killer Cupcake Panda in the Pandan Leaf IPA? This is my bedroom. And, or will you guys ever reintroduce, this beer from last year or something? And I would say I would love to. And it's not because we're losing creativity or we're doing our greatest hits album. Like it's, but I would say it's because brewery to a lot of people didn't get to experience what we did, what was just 2 years ago. Like we just did the double IPA. I mentioned the Blood Orange Mango Adventures in Time Surfing. I loved that beer. We do our doubles in the spring and the fall. It's gone. I really want it back. And so I'm trying to convince Peter, hey, every now and then, there's no shame in bringing a seasonal back for part of the season. And you know what? All of our beers that we are drinking today were at one point a seasonal beer. Sparklepuff was supposed to be a one release beer. And we just, as long as it kept going, we kept with it. So that being said, I think we've got to recognize the fact that every now and then, I'm not calling it a greatest hits album, but you get a novel that's a bestseller, and it's stupid not to keep pushing your bestseller. And in addition, like tiny little blizzards, which we're getting ready to drink. When we did the Southern Hemisphere IPA, it made sense that there should be a sequel to that series. So I kind of like betray my literary roots when I think of things in terms of like, sequels or series or volumes. But, I'm with Peter in that you don't relax on your magnum opus, but it never hurts to play your good tunes. And I would a lot of beers that as a designer, I'd love the break of not designing another label sometimes.
We need more beer.
We need another beer. But I do agree that it's time to sometimes reintroduce beers. So we're gonna argue on that and y'all see who wins.
I'm not arguing, I swear.
I always argue.
Tiny little.
I'll get you a clean glass, my friend.
Wow, you have clean glasses over there.
Clean glasses. You never know when
She's organized.
Organized. In fact, I forgot one of the beers. Tiny Little Blizzards, Northern Hemisphere IPA. Love it.
That beer's warmed up a bit.
Well, it's there now.
Big aroma.
It's good for
room temperature.
Yeah, if it's warmed up a little bit, because it's 7% ABV, so it can help the aroma.
We're talking about everything, aren't we? Hey, can we talk about something that's important to me besides fireworks, Marcus?
If I remember right, hockey is important for you, and fireworks and brewing and
hockey. I thought we'd do like a rink. I'm like, do I start with the rink or do I start with the Hamburglar? And I'm like come on, like who do you start with in terms of a background?
Maybe we're a U.S. brewery, McDonald's would be more appropriate.
Yeah, point taken. But
why you decided to start with this background? Then tell us.
Well, it's got the Hamburglar in it.
You know what? This was too obvious.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Yeah, it was too obvious.
But there's
This
Andy
is I got questions. Like, what's the guy with the hands up in the back? And what about this guy?
That's Hamburger.
Look at the Hamburger guy.
Come on, look, we got French fry guy.
Like, come on.
Mayor McCheese. I don't remember that professor guy.
Totally remember him. You're not as old as us, Marcus. We remember him. I don't remember his name.
Let's go away. So where are we? We're drinking tiny little blizzards.
We're playing Jeopardy.
I will take.
What beer are we on though?
You know, I'm going to take Blizzards for 400, Alex, because we all love Alex Trebek. Canada. Everybody, Lord God rest his soul. Just a little bit, raise a glass to Alex Trebek.
So I'm going to tell you a story, Marcus. I didn't prep Andrea with any of the slides I'm doing today.
These are all
specifically.
Surprises. So I'm just
this is the first time she's seeing all these slides.
I can't.
Okay, that's cool. Great job.
I thought I would mess with her the way I'm messing with you two.
A Freakshow for 1,000, Alex.
Okay, what are we on? Anyways, we're on Blizzards, aren't we?
Yeah, Blizzards.
10 little blizzards.
No, but I wanted to talk about this.
Yes.
The point of totality. Do you remember the what was it? 2 years ago they had the eclipse.
The total eclipse in North America. We got to see it.
We drove.
To the path of totality. It was at Cherry Creek Baptist Church in Tennessee.
Yes. Okay. So we went to Tennessee, which is kind of.
Are you wearing your souvenir T-shirt, Peter?
No, I think I might actually.
You are. Today. He's even wearing his souvenir T-shirt.
So I went to the land of totality.
Yeah.
But we went to Tennessee, right? You know, birthplace of he was actually from Tupelo, Mississippi.
Yeah. No, we were it was an hour north of my hometown in Alabama.
Nashville, what?
Nashville. She's just south of Nashville.
Yeah, so I'm from Huntsville, Alabama.
About an hour and a half south of Nashville.
Yeah, but close.
If you ever get a chance to go to the Jack Daniel's distillery, it's like the Disney World for beverage alcohol.
Unfortunately, I was in Nashville back for the Craft Brewers Conference, but
we were there.
We were there too.
I was there, in Nashville. I was at the Johnny Cash Museum and all that kind of stuff, but I was unable to go to the distillery of Jack Daniel's.
You missed out. It was fun.
Yeah. No, we went there.
She went there in grade 5. I mean, that's how dysfunctional that is.
Yeah, it's a cool trip.
But so we did this whole thing of totality to see the eclipse. And it was probably one of the most weirdest things in the world, where it was like
Peter was abducted by aliens.
I was abducted. No, but it goes from like light. It's like light outside. It's in the background right now. And it goes from light to dark over like in 3 friggin' minutes. It's insane. I always say, if there's anything in life you got to do, Marcus, is you got to see a total eclipse. It's the most amazing thing in the world.
Yeah,
I think.
Total eclipse of your head. Yeah, that was fun.
I dragged my kids out there and they cussed the whole way.
No, they loved it.
But they loved it when they were there.
Yeah, of course.
It's like what you got to do. Do you have kids, Marcus?
Yes.
Okay. How old are they?
10. She's getting 10.
They 10. Still like you. Yeah, exactly. Till tomorrow.
So in June, 27th of June, she's getting 10.
Yeah. We have 21, 19, and 17.
Yeah.
So they're just starting to think we're okay because we can get them free beer. But up until very recently, they thought we were just, jerks.
So we're drinking tiny little blizzards.
Okay, let's do it. Put the blizzards back right on.
Well, no, I want to finish off this.
Oh, you want
because you got to see it go dark.
See, that's me, by the way.
I wish we had sound because you could hear the, what do you call it?
People going,
the people,
the cicadas.
The cicadas,
The bugs got confused.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know, it's cool. Anyways, you got to do those kinds of things for your kids, I think.
Yeah. Things. If it's possible, yeah, of course. But I was in Disneyland in Europe with my daughter, so.
When was the last total eclipse in Europe? This is just, it was exciting because it was the first time we done it.
Well, I can tell you it was good question.
Yeah.
Love it. We stumped him.
I remember we drove all over looking for the glasses,
Around 20 years ago, I would say.
20 years ago.
There was a football game. I remember there was a football game and my home team played against a team from Turkey.
What's your home team?
It's Rapid Vienna.
Okay.
It's a soccer team and we played against Galatasaray Istanbul. which is a team from Turkey. It was a perfect day. And on this day, it was the last time. So maybe someone can check out on the. So 1999 was the last time.
Look
Sorry,
at
the answer. 1999 was the last time.
Marcus, look at the lights. Everybody's got their lights on.
Everybody's
It's starting to get dark. It's insane. It was
the 11th of August was the last time in Austria.
Look at that. He doesn't have sound, but we remember hearing all the birds and the insects get confused.
Oh, there you go. Look at it and the little dot. That's when you know you have a.
Were you just staring at that with your naked eye?
I was doing that. I'm blind now, but hey, it worked out really well. I had fun.
You and Donald Trump.
Oh man, Marcus, we apologize for all these weird stories, but
no, they are super nice. And it's really
did not know.
Really appreciate that you really share this all kind of stories.
I did not know you were pulling out the solar eclipse there.
No, it's perfect. But now when we are looking to the space, there was something what you also did.
The Northern Hemisphere IPAs, talking about the hemispheres of the Earth. Do you have something else?
He mentioned, no, he said space.
This is another thing that you just do because you can.
Yes. So back in 2014, there was something happen, which is still unique, I would say. Is there some other brewery on planet Earth?
I think every brewery does this, don't they, Marcus? They put a beer into outer space. Isn't that like a normal thing? Like, everybody kind of like, just because you can do it, you want to do it. And so
just because we still have some money left on the credit card, let's blow it.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. No, we put a beer in outer space. I thought it was kind of cool.
I'm gonna scoot over so you guys can see the video.
Yeah. Oh, we can do that. I got to find the video though first.
Oh, these are just the stills. That's pretty cool.
Oh, here we go. So this is it, Marcus. This is the video. We actually did a video. I ruined production that day because, it was the middle of summer and we're like, pull everybody off.
It was the first day where the wind speed was 1 kilometer an hour and we knew that we wouldn't lose the rig.
It wouldn't land in Quebec or Ohio. So this is the actual ship right here.
Yeah, as you can tell, my only job was filling the beer and painting the rig.
Yeah, it was good though. So, the most expensive part of this was not the balloon. It was the friggin' the radar detector, that little gold thing, the planes wouldn't bump into it.
Okay.
And it was it took the longest to get too. So we actually launched it from the top of the roof, this little spaceship. And they say specifically don't launch from the top of the roof, but we did it anyways. And so it was fun. And that day it went up, what did it go, 113?
He said on the video.
113,000 feet or something like that. I don't remember now. It's been so long.
And it was appropriate that we sent Super Collider double IPA.
We didn't know if the beer was going to freeze in the upper atmosphere, right? So, but that's the bay there.
We actually made it flat. We did take the carbonation out of the beer, but you can even still see it's starting to bubble. In the
there you go, 109,000 feet.
Yeah.
Okay, but look at the curvature. This is a wide angle lens, and yet you can still see the curvature of the earth.
There were 3 GoPro cameras on that rig. So this is actual footage.
So the balloon's 45 feet wide here at this point.
It collapses.
And look at the atmosphere.
Free fall.
Boom. It's crazy. And we thought, the parachute came out. We thought we actually lost it for about 3 hours while it was actually on its whatever called
descent.
No, on the, what do you call it?
Re-entry.
No, when it's going up. Ascent.
Ascent.
Yeah. So, anyways,
there's the cameras.
Yeah, the cameras were. It was crazy. I couldn't believe the vibration going on in the upper atmosphere. So then once it hit 5,000 feet below, it came back on our radar.
So they had a GPS tracker on it.
Yeah. Okay. And then boom. Okay, if you look at it here, it's actually light out. But when we actually find the bottle, it was dark because we had to cut this tree down. I feel bad. I'm going to rot in hell now because I had to cut a tree down just for the sake of this damn bottle.
We got permission from the farmer.
But we did get permission.
It was a farm field, about 100 kilometers from here?
Yeah, 113 kilometers away.
Yeah.
But who came out with this idea? I guess it was Peter. Yeah, okay. Well, and you know what? Carlos is writing now, we all need more Andreas and Peters in our life.
We need more Carls in our life, too.
We need more Carls,
everybody.
Really, Carlos, I completely agree. You know, it's so much fun to listen to you, you know, and it's one of my easiest tasting I ever had, you know, so far because
you didn't have to talk because
Look,
we talk
because
don't we look industrious? Like we're really like working hard.
You are really industrious, you know, but everyone, I guess, can feel the passion, the love, the power.
The background to this Beer in Space is the place where I am from in Alabama is Huntsville, Alabama. And I don't know if y'all have ever heard of it, but it's a space town. It's a NASA town. And an interesting connection is after World War II, a lot of the space scientists, you know, the rocket scientists felt like the northern part of Alabama looked the most like the Rhine River Valley or like the Black Forest of Germany. And our Werner von Braun, like, settled there, and that's when the Marshall Space Flight Center. So my hometown was very involved in space, you know, development. My dad, they're New Yorkers. They're Yankees, but then there's a whole generation of kids like me, born and raised in Alabama, to the space parents, right? The engineers and the physicists. So it's a NASA town, but nobody realizes there's a big NASA town in Alabama. And the history of the town, they always say from anti-gravity or from antebellum, from pre-Civil War, from antebellum to anti-gravity. And we used to have a light beer called Anti-Gravity, and that's kind of where we got the name from. Okay. Peter and my dad used to talk for hours, you know, God rest his soul, when he'd have a few scotches and like to tell stories. Okay. And he loved telling stories about the Cold War, you know. But it was all about, you know, space exploration and engineering and being a physicist.
I know her father has passed away. God rest his soul.
God bless his soul.
Yeah, but I still have his stapler that helped put people on the moon. and my stapler broke once. My stapler broke once that he gave me that put people on the moon. And I spent $150 to get that thing fixed just so I could still have that stapler.
When he retired, he gave Peter the stapler from his office. It's kind of a joke. Like, here, may the stapler serve you as well as it served me. But very seriously, he and my dad got along great.
So Matthias is asking Peter, how did the beer taste when it get back to the? Did you taste the beer yourself?
Well, no lie. I still have the beer. We've never drunk it. I think when my daughter gets married or when I die, you can drink it. But it's definitely going to be one of those beers for a very, very special occasion. Okay. And when that occasion comes up, it'll hit me in the face. We'll know when.
And the rig that actually went into space, we have it hanging on the roof of the tap room. So it's hanging from the ceiling in our tap room.
Yeah, if you come here, you don't steal it, please. But you can come here and see it firsthand. We still have it.
Okay, that's cool. That's a cool story.
It's good that you're going to steal it? Is that what you're saying?
No. It's a cool story. So there's another reason to come to Toronto and then, of course, to Ontario soon. I already talked to my wife, you know, before I started the tasting together with you. That should be the next destination for us. And so, yeah, hopefully it will happen soon.
It's really beautiful here.
I can imagine this, you know.
And where we are up a little bit north of Toronto. Toronto's a friendly city, but up here in Barrie and up the northern part of the city, it's very it's rural, somewhat agricultural. It's super friendly. Nice.
Hey, could we right now, Marcus? Can we do an Andrea solo?
Oh yeah,
I gotta go pee. So,
all right, go pee.
Yeah, is that okay?
We never talked about time.
Of course.
You can't be
easily with Andrea. Easily.
All right. Well, all right.
This is your solo.
But I didn't screw it up. I didn't do any of the screens. All right, I'll have to tell you. I will tell you a story. I know we're not drinking Sparklepuff right now, but I will tell you the story of Sparklepuff. Hi, everybody.
Hello, Andrea. Nice to meet you.
Seriously,
now we have you and your cat.
I went before we started because I'm organized and I'm a mom.
No.
Did everybody in the bathroom?
Before we start talking about Sparklepuff. Hold on a minute. I got the numbers from the Brewers Association 2 days ago, from the American Brewers Association. So it was the first time since, if I remember right, since 3 years that output is declining. So what is the current situation looks like in Canada? 2020? Are there many closings? Business is declining, or is there still someone who earns out, I don't know, a much profit out from COVID? Because maybe you are some of the winners because you have 73% packaged beers.
Well, and this is the funny thing. So we're in a very unique position. So if you said you got that from the Craft Brewers Association, where this?
Yeah, Brewers Association 2 days ago, the American numbers. Yeah.
So as much as we can complain about the system of beer sales in Ontario, so we have the beer store, the LCBO, and grocery stores, right? But we sell directly, right? So we don't have like a 3-tier system. Like, I say things about distributors and stuff. So it's a much more convoluted and I think more difficult to navigate system in the U.S. than it is for us to sell beer in Canada. That being said, our way is not ideal. It's still hard for small startup breweries, and you pay your dues for many years before you get the opportunity to really fully, I think, exercise access to the system in Canada. But in the U.S., I think it's much more challenging. It's much more challenging. So a lot of people in the U.S. have gone to the non-production brewery system, and they've gone to like the tap room format, right? Where you've got a small tap room and you have a bottle shop and you sell your stuff all out the front door. You may or may not be handled by a distributor. You may be selling outside, you may not, but you're selling a lot of your beer out your front door. Well, definitely the pandemic and COVID-19 closures, it would have killed a lot of people. And I don't know any of the statistics about how breweries are doing. A few around here closed, but not many. We've had the blessing here of we're not relying on our tap room as our sole, point of retail. We also still have LCBO listings, the beer store, and grocery stores. So
and export.
Hey. But they're asking me about the system, but we've actually had growth during this year, and it's astounding and it's somewhat humbling, but I'm very proud of the fact that, as a business with the pandemic, a lot of people shrugged their shoulders and said, I don't know what to do, and they quit. Whereas we pivoted, we had a lot of capital expenditure projects, our CapEx projects, like the robot and the new bottling line and the new canning line and all in the new filler and everything. We went ahead and used this opportunity, this downtime, to keep growing and keep forging ahead. So
mostly because we're idiots.
Mostly because, and a lot of it because we'd already paid for the stuff, right? It was going to go. But we've been blessed and we've actually managed to grow. And I think a lot of it is because of the more restrictive system in Canada actually ended up serving us to a certain extent. As much as we complain about, the beer store is owned by our competitors, and it's hard to compete in there. We actually had a lot less channels to service than the people in the United States.
Can I ask a question, Marcus? Have you ever met our pet panther? This is Rufus. Yeah, I'm just he's a panther.
And he's purring right now.
Panther, okay.
Anyway, everything come out all right?
How is the cat doing with your dogs? They are fine?
They love each other. Well, he bosses the dogs around.
Okay.
So we have our dogs are 100 pounds and 125 pounds. Rufus is the. So we didn't drink Tiny Little Blizzard. Do you want to go back to that one and then?
No, we got to get. Come on, we're like way over budget here. Like over budget. We haven't even opened up Sparklepuff.
The reason there's a picture of our cat Rufus on here is he is the muse. This is Sparklepuff. When the brewers came up with a triple IPA,
didn't happen that way. We came up with the name first.
We came up with his name first, but it was Rufus. And then they said Sparklepuff, Galaxy, Starfighter, Defender of the Universe, and Rufus is all of those things to me. And that's what we started with. And then, so we take a picture of Rufus that I think was the screensaver on my phone that made me laugh when we were doing the beer tasting. And then, where's the rest of my pictures?
Oh, right here.
Oh, there it is. Then I said, what the heck, let's sketch it. So we sketched it out. These are the way beers get developed. And we just sketched it in my notebooks. Yeah. Because he shoots lasers out of his eyes because he's that badass. And then it became.
I think that's important, though. I mean, we're not hitting home runs and knocking it out of the park first time. There's multiple revisions, and it's a pain. I think that the creative process is very, very intense. For us, it's a very, we want to put our heart and soul as if it's the last beer we'll ever design. From the product through to the artwork and the content on the actual, or the content in terms of the words.
And the fun part of this is when the brewer said they're going to do a triple IPA and they're going to put a bunch of peaches in it. We were laughing about it. we're like, peaches are just such a soft, fluffy, fuzzy kind of fruit. So that's where the idea, and I literally had my phone laying on the table during the beer tasting and the beer meeting. And I'm like, Rufus. And everybody loves, like we all need to have a little Carl in our lives. We also all need to have a little Rufus in our lives.
Yeah, that's true.
There it is.
Carl's a rock star.
I'm gonna let you, here, I'm gonna pour you some. I might crawl out of here and go to the washroom now too.
Are you serious? You're going to give me my solo?
I might give you a solo. My solo was very serious. He asked me a very serious, like, market-driven question that I'm.
What are you getting all serious on? It's for Marcus.
I know, but you answered it properly, so it was.
Yeah, I was the only one that gave a good answer. Where are you going?
I thought you were going to go take a peek.
Oh no, I can crawl under the table.
Oh, okay.
I'm used to crawling under the table. Not good. Okay, where's my table? So, triple IPA.
Sparklepuff was a triple that never left. What does that mean?
It was the seasonal that it's a beer for all seasons, apparently, because it.
Cheers. Cheers to me.
Branding out. First rule of marketing.
I know, it's so bad.
Cheers. Eye contact. Cheers, everybody. I make eye contact with everybody.
Eye contact.
Crazy eyes.
A big peach. Big peach. I remember when I was a little newborn, I loved the pureed peach.
You remember that?
I don't know. I just said that. It sounded good at the time. 1,000 pounds of peach in this, Marcus, per fermenter.
Peach puree.
Oof.
Beautiful.
And you signed off the bill.
I signed off the bill. That one I don't mind.
And
There's peach puree inside. What kind of hop structure is?
So mine, I disturbed the can. Like, so if you take the can and you roll it a little bit before mine's super nice and cloudy. Like it looks like orange. You can't see, but it looks like orange juice.
And the pectin will.
Sometimes we get the sparkles in it.
Sparkle.
It's either
That's what I get, but it's okay for me. Yeah, I got the sparkles, but it's hard. You see?
The snow globe. The snow globe.
We call it the snow globe.
Yeah. But some people, when we first released this beer, people were furious. We had just.
What's happening? What's wrong?
Beer. It's clumpy.
Yeah.
We don't care.
So tell them the story about the centrifuge.
What about it?
Well, we didn't want to filter this beer.
Yeah, we don't want to filter it. We got to leave it the way it
because
is.
we're taking all the good peach, the pectin, and all the hot particles and all the good stuff out. But we also were realizing we could do a little bit of a better job. So our very, very, very first run of this beer was super chunky. People were making jokes about it.
Can we say sparkly?
Sparkly. They were putting like cars and like ramen noodles in a cup and saying, well, look at my sparkle. But it was a joke. And so we said, you know what? It's funny, but our brewing is not a joke. And let's think about it.
It's serious.
Part of the profile, and it took a while, I think, for the market to get that. But then on top of it, as brewers, we said, let's figure out a new way to filter this beer that it's not crazy over the top. But we didn't want to take any of the flavor out. We didn't want to strip the hops out of this beer. We didn't want to strip the peach profile out of the beer. So
we kept it the same.
And they used the centrifuge. That was the lead in. That was when we bought the centrifuge and we figured it out.
Keeping it the same. Sorry.
But
when did you add the peaches? Durch lagering?
Yeah.
The peach puree.
Oh, sorry, no.
Late edition.
No, not late edition. It was definitely a fermenter edition.
And then
at 14 degrees Celsius. Step it down, 14C, crop the yeast, and then add your puree.
Very dry hopping this one, I forget.
Okay.
Did you get that?
Yeah, I get that. But it's really interesting to hear, how you did this, because most of the brewers add this puree during the lagering, leave it, settle it.
No, you got to keep it at a warm temperature. Otherwise, you won't get the flavor profile. All the esters coming from the peach. No.
And in addition to that, there's a lot of Simcoe hops, which have like an apricot-y, like stone fruit kind of, profile. It kind of, we tried to, whatever the hop, it doesn't have a crazy hop build for a triple IPA, Idaho 7, Vic Secret, and Simcoe.
Okay.
They're all hops that have like that tropical stone fruit, sweet kind of profile.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think as a brewer, if we're going to get technical, which we can do, you got to get you got to keep the temperature as high as you possibly can to get as much aroma from the ingredient as possible. But you need to keep the temperature as low as you can to crop as much yeast off of the beer as possible, because it'll consume the ingredients that you pitch into it. So it's that beautiful, delicate balance that you have to work with when you're working with late ingredients or dry additions.
And this one's actually a complex. Like when if I look at this on our on the brewer's notes, this one's pages.
Yeah, it is.
This is a pretty complex beer.
Yeah.
But it gets a lot of compliments from our tasters, from our guests. People are really enjoying it. And most of the comments are 10% ABV, but you never can taste them all.
It's got this big balance.
I want to know this.
It's more dangerous than life and transmission.
The bad comments are. I want to know what those are like. Oh, these guys are a bunch of assholes, or
Yes.
I want to know those guys.
They're not writing. They're not writing.
2 of our kids are in university, and they said this is the beer that they're most likely to see people drink before a party. I was like, okay, well,
get in the perfect mood. Get in the perfect mood.
There's a utility to it, sure.
It's a fun beer. That's a good example of a fun IPA.
It is, and it was a fun IPA. Like I said, it was a seasonal. And sometimes, when we had the question about the beer calendar, this is the game that moves as you play. You have to be ready to pivot very quickly. And if something is going well and people are enjoying it, of course we're going to give the people what they want. And I would be disappointed to see this one go away. And I think it's your favorite beer right now.
It is my favorite.
One of his favorites.
But on the same token,
Cookie is writing the new king of IPA.
Who's the king of IPAs?
Sparklepuff.
Oh.
That's the new king of IPAs. Yeah, it was a compliment.
Oh,
there's this small Austrian brewer I know about.
Who said that?
Be cookie.
Thank you.
Me cooking.
Be cookie.
Oh, be cooking.
Yeah.
I need to send him my Christmas,
T-shirt.
No, my Christmas card.
No. Oh my God.
I need to send him my Christmas card.
I'm gonna block that. Okay, let's turn off Christmas. I can't find anything else.
Wait, Marcus, you don't have a Christmas card like that?
No. Maybe we'll get one this year.
Okay, we gotta work on that.
Oh my God, Dad. You're embarrassing me, Dad.
Anyway, whatever his name was, I was going to give him a Christmas card, but if you guys don't like my Christmas card, that's on YouTube.
That's on YouTube, okay. Then we will find your Christmas card.
You're crazy.
Okay.
Fun. Any questions?
I would say it's the last. Round for questions. And then I would ask you to say a sentence to the Austrian beer community. I know you already said and talked a lot, and it was so interesting. And the most impressive thing was to see the passion of both of you, And you're together since almost 30 years. And I still can feel, how, you guys enjoying to live together, to love each other, to brew together, to work together. And it was really, I did a lot of online tastings, but...
We're renewing our vows.
No,
but
to tell you the truth,
No, it's
it
true.
was easy for me, but it was so super nice and interesting for you guys, because you were so open and transparent. Yeah.
And, an interesting part you don't see too is, Peter's sister is the VP of sales.
Okay.
And then we've got our niece doing accounting. Everybody here cares deeply about what we do, and we all do. Yeah. Thank you.
But if I had to summarize in one word or express in one word, I think honestly going to work should be like going on vacation. And for us, every day is another day of vacation.
I completely agree. I really completely agree. If you then don't get this feeling when you go to work, and of course, sometimes you get this feeling, okay, it's again another Monday, it's another Monday, you have to go to work. But in the end, you enjoy what you're doing, enjoy to have the people around you, which you want to have around you. And then it's a much easier to handle the day in our business, because it's really, we are stay and work together and stay for each other. Yeah. That's something.
In our business, you never have the same day twice. Yeah. Every day is different, but that's a positive thing. So especially when we're in something like right now where people are, we're in a pandemic, every day is an opportunity. And some opportunities are more challenging than others. And, we love to fail. Like we're great at it, but that's why we have so much fun here. We just get, oh my God, Peter, we just showed him a greatest hits album.
Where?
Think about it. This was a greatest hits album. We just did it.
Okay.
This whole presentation, we didn't show you everything we messed up in the last, 5 years. You guys just got to see a greatest hits album, and Peter doesn't even know he did it.
I'm embarrassed.
This was
She's right.
You guys just had the first and only mixed pack from the Flying Monkeys. Woo! Good job, Austria.
Cool.
I'm embarrassed. You guys did well. You got it out of me. You sucked it out of me.
This was fun. Thank you. You were a fantastic moderator.
Good job, Barbara.
I know. I feel like I need to start talking. We've been talking about my dead father.
And you even get more and more connected because there's a hockey player here playing in Austria, which is related to you.
Love it. I love it.
Amazing.
I love it.
It's pretty cool.
I'd love to be there. Soon we'll be there.
So, once again, I want to say thank you both for taking the time. I hope you enjoyed the tasting. We did a lot, especially I did a lot. I learned a lot, which I do during all the tastings. And I want to say thank you again to both of you, and you're more than welcome to visit us here in Austria and especially in Vienna. All the doors are open.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thanks for letting us be here.
So, an alle euch zu Hause, danke fürs Zuschauen, danke für euer Vertrauen. Es ist so, dass nächste Woche am 14.04. die nächste Verkostung, diesmal mit der Zillertaler Brauerei, stattfindet. Eine sehr interessante und wirklich tolle Brauerei. Auf das Tasting freue ich mich schon wirklich, wirklich sehr. Und dann geht es weiter wieder international. Dann wird jetzt bald einmal eine spanische Brauerei wieder kommen. Eine sehr bekannte und berühmte. Und so wie versprochen, wir bleiben am Laufenden und wir werden euch durch den Lockdown bringen und darüber hinaus. Und in diesem Sinne sage ich danke fürs Zuhören und gute Nacht.
Danke. Prost.
Prost.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen. Ja, jetzt